Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, one and all. It's great to have you along for episode 50. Believe it or not, 50 weeks of this rubbish of the Studio Rats live Q&A.
I cannot believe that people want to listen to this guff for 50 weeks.
It'll either tell you the state of the planet, or actually, we might even be quite entertaining, mate.
It might be.
Who knows?
You never know. You never know.
The house is filling up already. Shaharbar's in, Bruce Brooks is in, Mike Pinion's in, Larry North, my brother in studio building. We'll talk about that in a minute. Dave Stockton's in. Great to see you, chaps and chapesses. I'll pitch in. There might be some girls out there as well. It's a beautiful thing. Great to have you with us for another week of musical madness, mayhem, and gear lust, basically. So let's start off. What have you been up to this week, Mr. Drew?
What have I been doing? Well, just all. Oh, actually, no. There's a new Studio Rat song coming.
Oh, yes, I got the link through this afternoon. Sounds very exciting.
Yes, we're going to get that done and hopefully get into a nice studio to record that. That'll be good.
Yep. It's another one with
Jack Rubiducci.
Extraordinaire. The difficulty will be, of course, trying to get Jack over here for a session, because at the moment you can't.
Right. No, it's true. Yeah. Jack's based in Norway, so it might be. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so Jack's probably going to have to do his vocal there, but we'll do. I think if we can get into a nice studio, what do you reckon?
I'll pull some strings and make some magic happen if we can. I'll do my best.
Bruce, no, it's to be honest, it's rum. I went out cycling today up the Surrey Hills, and can you believe it was hail and snow up there? It just all came down like in May. This is bonkers.
For anyone who's not local to this country, the Surrey Hills, we ain't talking about the Himalayas.
No, they're pretty. They get pretty high up.
Yeah, but we
get pretty high. No, it's not like that. No
sickness, are we? Let's face it.
No, but it was freezing. It was freezing. It all came down, and then so I'm really cold. So I just got some. I've had a shower and stuff because I was so cold, and I'm just on the rum now. Trying to warm myself up.
He's hit the bottle.
And it's the 50th episode, so we've got to celebrate somehow.
Yes, indeed. So, other than freezing to death on your bike, so to speak, what have you been up to?
So did video on the Blue guitar.
Very nice.
That's great. That thing. I've got that plugged in now. That's really. Hold on, pull it out. Look, it's all plugged in. Easy to do. That's
very cool little thing.
Yeah, really impressed with that. I was playing through it today. Just great. You wouldn't know. I mean, it has got the old nano tube in there, but you wouldn't know that you were playing through a transistor Class D amp and stuff. It's brilliant. But I tell you what, it does
get warm.
It does get warm, and it's got a fan on it, which is not the quietest.
Right.
But it's worth it. I think, obviously, when you're playing live, that doesn't really matter at all. But it does get warm, and it's the fan. When the fan goes off, it does go off. But really good unit.
Yes. Yeah. Very impressive.
And the other one was this little beastie, the Pocket GT.
Very, very cool.
That sounds great. That thing. That's unbelievably good.
It so reminds me of those Zoom units of the 90s. The ones that go on your strap.
Yeah.
I love those things. Then the sounds of those were really good. The only problem was if you ever wanted to change between two patches, it was like down, stomp, silence.
Yeah.
Down, come back.
Well, I don't know. And I mean, this isn't really designed for live because any way you can change patches is by this.
Oh, right, okay.
Value button here. But I think as a backup, if your amp goes down and you need to play something, you'd probably be really chuffed with the sounds that's coming out of that. I'm really impressed with that. The only thing is, like Boss stuff is brilliant. Boss stuff sounds absolutely amazing. It just looks a little bit
I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
But what I mean, but seriously, really,
Sonic.
I mean, I love, and honestly, I love Boss stuff. I think their stuff is bulletproof, and that's probably why. That's probably why it's made like that, because there's not a lot of things that can actually go wrong with it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, cool.
Yes. Where are we? So should we do some? Should we see if there's any questions? There's loads of questions.
No, I haven't done it. I haven't done anything. Thanks. You're fine.
Oh, sorry, mate. Look, it's all about me. This is all. Anyway, 2 questions. No, come on then. What have you been up to? I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at that.
Yes. So I've actually been making some music this week. I had my first session in the studio on Friday for the first time in months. I had someone else in here. It was great. And we worked on 2 songs, both of which started off as an acoustic and vocal. One of which we developed into a full-on rock romp track thing, which I let you have a listen to earlier, which I think sounded quite well. Yeah, really and the other one's just a couple of acoustics and vocal. Sounds really nice. So that was good fun. I've been working on some stuff for this baby.
Can we look a bit closer at that?
Yeah, yes. Undo before it. So this is the new Axino.
That's nice, isn't it?
From Antelope Audio. So it's a USB microphone and audio interface. They call it a recording system because, of course, it's not just a USB mic, it's the whole thing. So you get your headphone jack, really nice encoder on there, which can control various things inside the software, preamp gain, 10 dB pad, high pass filter, nice big center terminated large diaphragm condenser mic. Sounds really good. It's got a load of goodies in it. It's got synergy core processing in it. It's got mic modeling in it.
Oh, wow.
So,
Has it got, I know this might sound like a stupid question, but as it's an interface in itself, has it got like a line in as well or not?
No, that's the only way of getting anything in is the microphone.
Okay.
It's funny because I always thought that. I thought it would make sense for a USB mic to also have a line in or 2 on it. And no one seems to have done that, which I think is bizarre.
Yeah. It would be not. I mean, if they can put a headphone amp in there, I think they can stick, even just one line in or a couple of lines.
I've been working on the video for that, which will be going out in the next couple of days. Also, I have a Quad Cortex update.
Well, I've got a Quad Cortex update as well.
I bet mine's more exciting than yours.
Go on then.
So, I phoned Paul this morning about 10 o'clock to say, I've had the email. They're actually in stock. Guitar, I've got them. And then this afternoon, I got the shipping email that says it will be with me tomorrow.
What? Unbelievable.
It's only taken since November to get these things, but it will be with me tomorrow.
Awesome. Oh, that's
absolutely
exciting.
Off the chart amazing, which means I can put even more gear into rack units for storage and get them out of here.
Because I have it out tomorrow.
I have started packing the studio.
Are you going to pull it out tomorrow, or are you just going to leave it in its box?
Oh, no, I'll start messing around.
On it. Okay, good. Yeah, nice one. You should do a video on it.
I want to have a listen and stuff and have a play.
Yeah, nice one.
That'll be good fun. Yeah, that's been my week pretty much. Questions?
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Shahar is, what do you call your fans? Ratscallions. I don't know. Maybe you should maybe we should have a little vote on that.
Ratscallions, I don't mind. That's not too bad. I don't know. My brain's not working for creativity of the English language this week. That's for sure.
Nice one. Cheers, your heart. Bruce Brooks, greeting and facilitations from New York. What's the difference between facilitations and salutations?
The spelling.
Okay. You're gonna pass on that, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Hi, Mike. Hi, David. And Mike says, looking forward to the comparison, the Amp 1 and the Marshall. Yeah, because I tell you, the Amp 1 is really, I think he's voiced it in a real plexy sort of way. It's really quite glassy and bright. Yeah, that would be, that's going to be interesting. Larry says nothing to do with you two. We just want to chat room, talk to everyone else. You should, you should actually just talk amongst yourselves. That'd be quite nice.
I think they do, mate. Actually, to be honest,
do they?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, good. Your series on the channel was a godsend. Yeah, pleasure, Jack. Evening. Little lamp is amazing. Yep. Does the nanotube actually get to usable voltage? What does the power supply? That's really interesting.
Well, it's a kettle lead, isn't it? It hasn't got a wall wart style thing.
At last, a decent. I mean, that's one of the differences between this, which I know is a very different unit, but it's a proper
3-pin kettle lead type thing. Yeah.
As opposed to the neural cortex, which is a crappy wall.
Yeah, I hate those things.
Rubbish.
I understand why, because on many units of that style, the thing that's going to fail is the power supply. So if you've got a power supply that's built in, it's a pain in the ass to change, as opposed to an external unit, you buy a new one. But yeah, there needs to be a better solution for plugging those things in. I mean, the Universal Audio Apollos lock in, don't they? The power supply.
Yes, yeah.
There are XLR style power connectors you can get.
They're on the Apollo, on the big Apollos, the XLR stuff.
Yeah. Just those little farty terrible ones that snap off when you tread on them, and I know things aren't designed to be trodden on. Nothing should be trodden on, but at gigs, things get trodden on.
But maybe they've done it because it's power. It's a pedal board friendly then.
Yeah, maybe
pedal board friendly. I mean, even though I can't see that running off of a standard pedal board power supply, but I'll have a look.
No, definitely not.
I'll give it a go. Where are we? Yeah. So in terms of the tube, do you know what the tube is? It's in the circuit somewhere, but it's in the towards the back end of it. So towards the power amp section, and I don't actually know exactly what the tube's doing because it's a Class D power amp and a transistor preamp. So it's somewhere in the chain.
Probably. Do you remember Korg released the Triton Extremes?
Oh no, let's not even talk about that. That would make me not buy that thing.
That was just basically let's put a piece of glass with a blue glowing tube in.
Didn't do anything.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Rubbish. That was rubbish. That was. I mean, it's a keyboard. You don't put a tube in a keyboard. That's absolute rubbish. That was. Okay. Bruce says, trade you my Rockman X100 for the Boss. Ooh.
Which Boss? The little tiny, the cigarette packet one. Interesting idea there. I'll let you boys play on that idea.
How does the? It's not actually mine, Bruce. It's Roland. So I wish it was mine. How does the Pocket GT compare to the 1000 in terms of sound and models? Well, the GT 1000's got a lot more. It's got different processing. The GT 1000's at AIRD processing. This is. Yep. I don't know what this one is. It might be AIRD, but I would have thought they would have put it on there. It doesn't say anywhere. I don't think it's the same type of processing going on, but sounds great.
You can do a lot worse, can't you? Now,
yeah. Do you know what? I might even do like a recording with it, just like a a song, like a whole song, and see
if anyone can tell.
Yeah,
that's the scary thing, isn't it?
Yeah. John says, "Hi, John. Paul, you did a great video on clean sounds this week. I loved it when you went all Smiths. Even better when you now pop. What did I do? What was the clean sound thing I did?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't watch my videos, James. Anyway,
no,
John does. John's my mate. Oh, it was the Scuffum, video.
Yes.
I did that as well. I did the Scuffum thing. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was good. Dave or Pavo. It's evening, Dave. Sorry, Paul. You nailed Pop Staples sound too. Oh, cheers, mate. Stephen James, good day from Brisbane. Good day. And Mike loved the clean sounds too. Scuff them. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Mike filled this in. Yeah.
So, what's been happening on the gear news front? Is there any new toys out? Because to be honest, my weekend has been all consumed by packing the studio or starting to pack the studio. Moving, I borrowed a van over the weekend, and I started to move out the gear from my storage unit. I had like a big yellow thing, and I hired another one up near the new house, and I've cleared out the cupboard a lot. You know what it was like in there. You opened the door and it was just there. Whereas now you can see the back and there's space and stuff. But what's embarrassing is I've moved a lot of stuff up to this new unit, which is bigger, and I'm actually quite shocked at how much gear I've got and the fact that it doesn't look that much different in here.
What do you need? I mean, I know what you need a storage unit for now at this moment, but what did you need a storage unit for?
PA and lights, big stuff.
When was the last time you used? Do you use it for that cheer stuff?
I use it for cheer, yeah.
Can you not store it around John's house?
I probably could, but obviously the new studio will have storage in it, a lot more than I currently have. So yeah, it's mainly while we transition.
Okay.
But yeah, it's scary. The amount of kit I've got. I've looked and gone, not even I need this much stuff. I know I'm a hoarder. I know I am. Yeah. But blimey, it was ridiculous. Absolutely insane the amount of kit there.
Yeah.
I had two piles of flight cases, like microphone kind of.
Yeah.
2 piles floor to ceiling of mic cases.
Oh, that's ridiculous. No one needs that many mics.
Yeah, I like them though. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Gear news then, yeah?
Yeah, so show I've kind of got, it's weird. I've got a bit of a hankering for a guitar.
Have you?
Which is always dangerous with you around because they tend to be quite expensive.
Yeah. What sort of guitar do you want? Maybe I tell you what, John's a bit of an expert. John's good at giving some advice on guitars.
I'd like something different. I'd like something a little bit off the wall. I've been looking at, and this is Mike. See, Mike. I've been looking at the kind of jazzy jumbos type things, like the Ibanez Pat Metheny's and the Ibanez George Benson, and they're all beautiful guitars, but they're quite expensive. I remember a time when you could, 1,500 quid would get you a top flight guitar. These days, 1,500 quid gets you a kind of mid-flight guitar.
It doesn't get you a mid-flight guitar. It still gets a good guitar. I mean, that is
territory, is it? It used to be.
No, that's true. It did used to be, I guess. But definitely, like, you're not far off the American Ultras and the American Pro 2s and stuff.
But I've got a good Telly. I've got a good Strat. I've got a good Les Paul. The guitars I'd like. I'd like something different. I'd like something a bit weird. Which is why that Brian May really appealed to me in the shop the other day.
Well, what Larry said, he got an email about a Brian May guitar for £700 today, James.
Oh,
how much are they new?
I don't know. It depends if it's a Brian May, a Guild, or a who else made them? Burns, because there's been 3 eras of the Brian May kind of red special copies. Right. It depends which one it is. The Burns ones I remember were amazing guitars, but they were blooming expensive. And now Brian May's bought the licensing back and does it himself, and they're really good playable guitars.
What, is he working in like a little? He's got a little workshop and he's chipping away at stuff. Is he?
Yeah, he's got Brian. A telescope looking at the stars with one eye, and he's working on his guitars with the other.
Is that what he does? Is he into astronomy or astrology? I always get
astronomy. His doctorate's in astronomy, isn't it?
Is he?
He's Dr. Brian May.
Is he really?
He dropped out of Imperial College to pursue Queen.
Right, interesting.
Oh, cheers. My email's about to go ping. So
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you've got a couple of suggestions here.
right.
Was it Paul? I know you had some. Hold on a second. Oh, Mike suggested telly.
I've already got a telly. I like my telly.
Yeah. You've got a telly. He's got a good telly, actually, Mike. Paul, I know you had some back issues, but if it came to fisticuffs, can you take down James? Most definitely.
Yeah, you wish.
Oh, that's it. That's it now. I'll start something. The thing that James has forgotten, Shahar, is that I'm from Croydon. I was brought up fighting. James is from, I don't know, somewhere in Suffolk or something, some namby-pamby part of the world. Anyway,
I've been in bands where we used to have the rule on stage was no fighting in the band.
Awesome.
That's how rough it was.
Sounds like a Slipknot gig or something. Mike Pinion has suggested Eastman. That's a good choice.
Now but aren't they super expensive?
No, they're not super expensive. They're okay. So it's, don't let this put you off. It's a Chinese custom shop.
Mm-hmm.
Think a bit like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Good. I've never played one, but everyone raves about them.
Okay. Cool.
I tell you what, I'd have a look at.
Yeah.
If you want something a bit unusual, is a Gretsch.
Yeah, I kind of like that kind of the jumbo body thing. You know, I think that's where my guitar collection is lacking.
Yeah, and the thing is, now Mike's gone, so we can talk about this, even though we'll check it out later on. But like those Ibanez artist guitars and the the George Benson and that sort of stuff, they're jazz guitars. Like a Gretsch is a rock and roll guitar.
That is true. And if you want to make it a jazz guitar, you put flat wounds on it.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah. And you definitely could. You can definitely get that sort of sound out of it. But the bridge pickups are just awesome. Hi, so David.
Show us what's new. Show us what's new.
Okay. Shall I start off with something that's quite apt then?
Go on, then. Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, I've got to share. I've got to share my screen first.
You have to share it. Yeah.
Oh man.
No rush.
Share. No, I'm doing my best.
Actually, what are you doing? That I need to share the links for tonight. So if anybody wants to join us and come and chat, then, I will share the links, and I'm going to share your screen now, Paul. Oh, hello. What
do you think of that?
Oh,
really Gretchy. And I tell you what, you should definitely consider is the Bigsby, because Bigsby's are just amazing.
Interesting.
Like my favorite tremolos. So Godin, they're doing something. They're doing a new guitar called the Montreal Premier Limited Imperial Blue. It's nice, isn't it?
Godin used to be, plug-in piezo acoustics, didn't they? That was their bread and butter for a while.
No, yeah. I think that's what they were known for. But they've always done electrics, not solid bodies.
Mm-hmm. That looks very nice.
Let's have a look. I can't see how much it costs though.
How much? Godin have never been horrendously expensive though, have they?
Oh, that looks great. I mean, that looks like a nice Gretsch. Oh, okay. It's not cheap. Well, unless in dollars, and it might be Canadian dollars actually, which will make it much cheaper. 2.5.
Not bad. So it's probably about 2 then. If it's US dollars, it's about 2, isn't it?
Yeah, but if it's Canadian dollars, it's half that, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting. So that's that. I thought that was quite good.
Very nice. Very nice looking. I'm sure.
Yeah. Atomic amps.
Oh, that looks like fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. What they're trying to do here. So the first version was like a direct recording, direct to PA stomp box.
Mm-hmm.
So preamp, speaker modeling, that sort of stuff. Old lady in a bra. Don't know what that's about. What's that about? Man, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's what
Oh,
It comes up with shows what you've been viewing recently.
Does it? Oh,
that's called Google working out your history. Man.
That's definitely what I'm into. It says you're never too old to play with toys. That's wrong on so many levels. Anyway. Yeah, so it's got quarter inch and XLR ins and outs, as well as onboard time-based effects, compressor, tone stack, and noise gate.
Nice.
Yeah, looks super cool, doesn't it?
Very nice.
Right, this I thought was really interesting. You're going to like this.
Oh, a baby Friedman.
A little mini Friedman.
That is interesting.
A transistor.
Oh.
Interesting. That's interesting how you had that, because that's exactly that's exactly what I did when I found that out. But it sounds great. I've seen some videos on it. Really, really, really good.
But instantly I go, do you know what? I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, and I get you, and I get you. But then think of it like this.
I bet it's cheap. I bet it's cheap.
It is really cheap. Yes, it's really cheap. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But if you think about the, pedals, because this is basically an amp version of their BE Deluxe pedal.
Yeah.
One channel. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, and that's basically what it's been built on. Yeah, where are we? And price wise, it is £319, $329.
That's not bad, is it? That's really not bad at all.
That's quite a cool little thing. It's 30 watt. I reckon that'd be great in the studio.
I wonder how though it will compare if you've got like that, one of the Baby Marshalls, the baby.
You can't compare that to the Baby Marshalls.
No, but when you put them together, if you were switching between them,
yeah,
I bet you'd have to get the same sort of volume out of that. I bet you'd have to have it well cranked. Versus the Marshalls will probably just on ticking over.
Yeah, you are right. That's always how I feel with. I don't understand. Maybe at some point, not tonight, but you can explain that about the difference between Class D
Mate, I can't explain that. That's way beyond my pay grade.
Oh, well, great.
I understand that. I understand the difference between basically valve watts versus transistor watts. There is no comparison.
But then why is it called watts then? I don't understand. Why don't they just have? This is what I can't get my head around.
Clearly, I do understand more than I thought I did. 1 watt is 1 joule per coulomb of power.
Oh, you've lost me. No, okay, we need to stop now because that's it. You've lost me now.
All right, and yes, okay. I'll work out a way of explaining it in words of 1 syllable.
Perfect. Yeah, if you could.
Interesting, and for that price, it is interesting. But I think you'd get bored of it very quickly. I bet it's a one-trick pony.
Oh, very much so. But the Friedman, the Friedman Brown Eye it's not a one-trick pony. That's a really bad thing to say, but it is good for that sort of sound.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought this was quite nice.
Oh no, that's fun.
That's nice, isn't it?
That looks like something out of 1950s. A 1950s radio. That looks great.
It does, doesn't it? It looks cool. So this is Tone King's new Gremlin. It's a 5 watt valve head, black face and tweed style tones.
And I bet it's not cheap.
It's how much do you think isn't cheap?
I bet that's $2,000.
No, it's not $2,000.
Really?
No. Yeah, it's only 5 watt. I mean, it's probably what it's like. It's one. Yeah, it's a single 5881 power tube.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so anyway, I like the colours.
I love the green. The seafoam green's amazing.
Nice, isn't it? I like that. It's US dollars, $1,095.
Oh, that's not bad then, is it? I mean, again, it makes one noise, but I bet it makes a great noise.
Yeah. Again, that's a great studio amp.
Very cool. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. Yeah, and if you're looking for like a low wattage Fender star lamp. I think that's brilliant. All right, the last thing. I want to click on this.
Oh, that looks quite special, doesn't it?
It looks cool, doesn't it? So this is the new Billy Corgan Grace amp head, 100 watts by Carsten's amplification. Looks cool, doesn't it? I like the brand.
I've never heard of them.
No.
But I looked at that and went, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think there's only one problem with amps that look that cool.
What's that?
They have a painful price tag with them.
Yeah, it's expensive. I mean, it's cool though, because it's okay. So they've done 50. There's 50 units worldwide. I mean, that's going to sell out in no time. There's so many like Billy Corgan fans, and look, it comes in white as well.
Oh, the white one's cool.
It is nice, isn't it? I like that. But yeah, price. Oh, they're all signed by Billy Corgan. But price wise, $3,500.
Ouch.
£2,739.43.
Wow. I think I can safely say I will not be getting one of those, because that ain't cheap.
But that's it. I mean, you're talking about like Smashing Pumpkins fans, like mega Smashing Pumpkins fan to play guitar. Then that's ultimate, isn't it?
A friend of mine, a band I used to play, talking about ultimate fans being offered stuff first. Let me just lose that. Ultimate fans being offered gear first. I used to play in a Lone Star blues band.
What's a Lone Star blues band?
Basically, we did an awful lot of
Stevie Ray and that sort of stuff.
Stevie Ray Vaughan and that sort of stuff.
Okay, nice.
Excuse me. The band leader Terry was well known to Fender UK and would always get offered the good deals on the signatures and the customs, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And they offered him I think they were making 100 of this seriously, absolutely to the dent, to the ding, to the slightly crumpled sticker of Stevie Ray's Strat. And he went, I am so tempted, but it was £7,500.
Yeah.
And that's going back 10, 15, 16 years now. That's a lot of money. That was a lot of money for a guitar back then.
Yes, yeah, it was. Yeah, you did right.
A lot of money.
I'm just trying to find something for you, because here we go. Yes, that does work. Great. Okay. So where are we? Mike Pinion says D'Angelico.
Oh,
hold on. No. There's more. There's more actually. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I've missed a few. Stephen James says Gretsch.
Yeah, I think
that's a good choice for that.
In the running.
Stanford makes cool guitars. The Crossroad 30. I haven't heard of them.
No, I haven't. I should be them in a minute.
Yeah, we'll look at them. John Green says, James, if you're looking for a deeper hollow body, you can still get a good vintage Gibson vintage 125 or 175 for not crazy money. Oh, see, that's a good choice. That's a really good idea. Because you're not going to lose money on that ever.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the guitar I want is a 335, a real one. I've got an Epiphone, and it's a great guitar, but the guitar snob in me wants a 335. The only problem
on them 15.
No, 335 is a $3,500 guitar at the moment.
Well, not secondhand. You might pick one up for 2.5.
Yeah, but I don't want to spend 2.5.
No, sure. So Mike Pinion says D'Angelico, and let me just show you, because can you share my screen again?
I will do.
Hold on a second before you do that. Right, I found it. Here we go. It's that one. Oh no, it's not. It's that one. Okay.
Say when.
Yeah. Yep. Go for it. Yeah.
Can't, you're not sharing.
Oh, hold on. So it's all a bit too much, this technical stuff. Share screen. Here we go. You ready?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
They're nice. Now they did have a really good. Now these are really good. And they had some deals on it some time ago. On some of these.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I like some of those.
Yeah, nice. And they do ones with big spears. That's nice. A bit more jazzy. The only thing I don't like on them is the headstock.
Yeah, you can kind of live with it, though, can't you?
Oh, I like the body though. That's cool. Look at the body.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, nice. You
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay, do you want to unshare me?
We are unshared.
Okay. Where are we? Where did we get to? Angelico. Wow, they're so much less responsive than a Floyd. Seriously. Oh, okay. You're talking about Bigsby's. It's not a Floyd. I hate Floyds. So
yeah, my dive bomb guitar is my Eggle because it's got a Wilkinson, and I think the Wilkinson is a better trem than Floyd Rose personally. Don't shoot the messenger.
Can I just? I want to comment on that. I'm just going to show you something.
Right.
Something that you can't do. Like if I play a chord.
Yeah.
It's the only trem that does that.
There's no into it, is there? There's no hit into it. It's just you can roll it.
Yeah, and it always it holds. It holds, not always, but it holds like tune.
Yeah.
As you go down, that's why you get that sound out of it. It's great. Yeah, it's a bit out of tune, but anyway, they're great. Bigsby's are just, but it's not designed to do Steve Vai.
Yeah,
it's designed as like a vibrato arm. It's brilliant.
Yeah. It's not for dive bombing.
No.
Brian Setzer not
anymore. It's not the 1980s, mate.
Brian Setzer known for his dive bombs.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not the 1980s. That's what I mean. Anyway, where we get to? Kreenar says the D'Angelico look excellent. John's going to catch up tomorrow. Cheers, John. Got to run. Larry's got to run. God, everyone's leaving. Have we done something wrong? It's going to be our 50th episode.
Yeah, but they'll catch us tomorrow. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Jason Wade says, Paul, I've had two Katanas 50 and 100 watt versions. Nice. Awesomes. Yeah, the Katanas are great.
You can do a lot worse.
Yep, definitely. Jerry G, 1 watt equals 1 joule per second. Oh no, this is.
Yeah, it. We need to get someone on who can talk about valve theory and about.
Can we do it with someone that can make it interesting, because it's quite a dull subject.
It is quite dull, and talk about power amps and stuff, because it's quite heavy going, and yes.
Okay. Okay, Jason Wade. Sorry. Also, the Boss wireless amp as well. Ended up sending them all back. Just couldn't get along with them. But something's telling me that I'd like the GT1000 core. Yeah. If you don't like the way that Boss stuff sounds, you might not like it. But I definitely think you should try it out, Jason. I think you should go. If you can go into a shop. Well, actually, if you can buy one and then send it back, it makes no difference, does it? Absolutely, it's worth trying out. But if you do, download the presets. It's like a free bunch of presets that I did for it, and try them out. Shahar says, "Will you get your hands on the new Friedman mini butthole?" That's what they should have called it.
Well, yeah, I don't think they've sold many, but I'm quite interested in that, but I'm not sure I'm interested enough to buy it.
Well, that's what it's a brown eye, isn't it? The big one's called the brown eye, so that's what I like that mini butthole. Bruce, I just get a 60s Fender Bassman head, best selling amp is ever owned.
The only problem, and while Bruce, I completely agree, I love all this old stuff. The only problem with old stuff is it packs up. And when it packs up, it's normally really expensive to get repaired by someone who knows what they're doing. And I don't need that hassle in my life. I've never been someone into vintage gear. I've got a couple of vintage drums, and that's about it. I've never been I must go and find old pre's and old mics, because they're just not worth the hassle in my life. If you've got a studio with a maintenance staff, great. Vintage gear is wonderful because it can always go into your trusty tech and get it sorted out. But now I like new stuff because if it goes wrong, you can get it repaired by someone locally, or you go back to the company, or you send it back.
Yeah, Dan Hawkins has got a 60s Baseman,
and he never gigs it because it weighs a metric ton.
Well, he wouldn't gig it, I think, because it's probably quite fragile. It's not.
I'll rest my case.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great little studio thing though.
Yeah, but big studio thing.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I mean, I've had the offer of getting like loads of vintage amps in the past, and I've always shied away from vintage amps. I don't mind vintage guitars because I know exactly what's in it, and you can, it doesn't cost a lot to. Well, that's a lie. There are problems you can get with vintage guitars but there's not a lot that can't be fixed easily. But vintage amp, and then you start replacing stuff, and then it's not the same.
It's not vintage anymore, is it?
But yes, nice amp though, Bruce. Jonathan Davis says the Eastman T368 cured his 335 yearnings. I think that actually sounds a bit better, a bit brighter, less muddy. That's good. That's the only thing that I really like the sound of the 335 bridge pickup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of a dirty. There's something nice about it.
And I guess it's a hollow body that warms it up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah,
nice though.
I am noting down all these particular models and stuff, and I'm thinking, and I'm gonna, see who's got them, where they are.
Okay, where are we? Best little practice amp he's ever had.
Not sure what that's reference to, unfortunately.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, let us know, Jack. You guys are mad. I reckon that was over the ladies. Yeah,
probably yes.
Oh, Mike likes the D'Angelico Art Deco headstock.
Oh, I wasn't offended by it.
No. Yeah, it's just me. 386.
I think that was a correction.
Oh, okay. I see. Yes. Yeah. So it's the Eastman 386. Nice one. Cheers, Jonathan. Jonathan Davis, my Ibanez AS103 cured his 335. Oh, nice. The AS series.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. The Gov DS pedal brings so much thickness. Oh, I think it's probably talking about the Katana. There's a Gov. Yeah, there's a Gov.
Right.
Governor pedal in there.
Yep.
Nice one. Okay, who Bruce. Fortunately, Bruce is a tech.
Right. Yes.
I'd love to be a bit more hands-on with gear. I'd like to be a bit more. I can definitely fix that.
I can do a lot of stuff. I'm very soldering iron happy. I've done all the patching for stuff is done in here. It was done by me. I don't want to do it in the next one, but hey, I'm happy to get a soldering iron out. I just don't want to blow myself up. And valves, you can do that quite easily if you get it wrong.
Yeah, you can definitely. Mike Pinion says the Ibanez Artist Series John Schofield 200 is a steal. 335 steal.
See, my only problem is the word John Schofield.
Why is that? You don't like John Schofield?
Oh my god, the tone is awful. It's like wobbly chorus.
Oh, he's the guy that uses a chorus over everything.
It's
awful, isn't it?
Oh.
What is that about?
I'm sorry. I know I'm upsetting a lot of people by saying that. The guy can play, but the over the top wobbly chorus tone over everything is just no.
What is that about?
Oh no.
It's so strange, isn't it?
Hey, it was the 70s, man. Talk a minute. I need to change my batteries.
Okay. Okay. Well, can you still hear me? You can still hear me. Okay, good. Okay. Is there anything on this planet heavier than a Fender Twin Reverb? No, I think James has got a comment. There is apparently probably an Ampeg.
Come on, there we go. Right back. There is one thing on Earth heavier than a Fender twin reverb.
AC30 is probably heavier.
Fender Rhodes.
Oh, they're Rhodes.
Fender Rhodes or a B3.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but he's probably talking. He did say
guitar amp wise.
AC30's got to be close.
What was the bigger one? What was the 4x10? Was it the Fender, the concert?
Showman. Oh,
Showman.
Was it a Showman?
That's a heavy bass. What's the Stevie Ray one? The Fender Vibra King was a 4x10. 4x10 in a, oh my God.
Was it?
Absolutely. And Terry used to have the band I used to play in, he had two of them.
Jeez.
Loudest guitar player I've ever worked with on stage.
Wow.
Or what was the Marshall? The Marshall Blues Breaker. That was an absolute beast of an amp.
That was a beast, wasn't it?
And probably the most unreliable amp in history.
Was it?
Oh, it chewed through valves more than an AC30.
Did it? I had a student once that had one, and he had a Marshall used to do a attenuator,
power brake, Marshall power.
Yeah, the power brake. And if he was using that with it, that must have burned through valves because
the old attenuators were not that efficient.
What was the Blues Breaker? It wasn't EL84s.
I don't know. It was bloody heavy.
Okay. Okay. Where are we? Oh, we haven't had anyone. Yeah, it's all right. We haven't had any Schofield.
Any Schofield backlash?
Yeah. Stephen James is working on his Boss GT1000 core for live gigging. I was suggested to get an FR type speaker. Should I go that way or stick with the guitar amp and work on settings in the GT core? Your advice? That's a really good question. I think I would go FR.
Me too.
You would, yeah?
Yeah.
Because that's what that unit is really
work with.
Yeah. It's designed to have the speaker modeling working with it. And if you get something like I think loads of them do it now, but the Line 6 power cab, you can go in and out of it as well. So if you want to run a stereo rig, you can take one of the outputs out of the GT core and go straight to the front of the house, and then one goes into your power cab, and then you can run out of that as well. So you're still getting your stereo that's going to the front of the house. Yeah.
Or say I know FR tends to mean is a guitarist's term, but a PA speaker.
It's basically a PA speaker.
You don't have to spend a lot to get something half decent. I know lots of people who've been using those old JBL Eons.
Yeah,
built back nicely. Yeah,
they're all right, aren't they? It's a shame of the composite cab, though, isn't it? It's just
but it made them bounceable. That was the good thing. It's like the old Mackie SRM 450s.
Yeah,
they bounced.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they do bounce, don't they? As opposed to just going.
Yeah, falling apart and just being a mess on the floor.
Yeah. Shahar says Fender breaking our back since the 50s.
And our wallets.
Yeah. Bruce Brooks says, I have a Johnson Millennium 150 2x12 combo, makes a twin reverb feel like a feather. Yeah, they were heavy, those things.
Yeah. And I'm never quite sure why, because there was no valves in there.
There was a valve in the preamp stage.
But it was a solid state power amp, wasn't it? So it should.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
it didn't need the transformers to run the power amp
before Class D, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Well before.
Yeah. Any experience with bad cat amps? The Cub 40, and this is Andy Johns. The Cub 40 from the USA Player Series, hand assembled PCB in California, is on his list. The Master, called K Master, is supposed to be great. Yeah, I saw something about that K Master. It looks brilliant. I can't remember what it does, but it's their own technology that they use. Because basically, I was looking at the little amp that they did. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that had the K Master on it as well. Yeah, they're really good. Bad Cat amps. I mean, basically, it's matchless, isn't it? It's
same owner, isn't it? Same.
I think was it the original guy from Matchless?
I think so. Yeah.
And that's the only thing. If you've got a matchless amp, I know this is snobbery, but matchless amps look so classy. If you see anyone that's got a matchless amp, you go,
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I think Bad Cat. I think their logo just looks a little bit.
Isn't do you know? Whenever I put Soldano into eBay, because obviously I would like an SL000, I just would.
Right.
It always comes up with Jet City.
Yeah.
As an alternative.
Yeah.
Now that's another company, and I remember seeing them touting their wares years ago, thinking that sounds pretty damn fine. Then looking at the price tag, going, really?
Yeah,
that's a great deal for what they were doing. But it is Mike Soldano, isn't it? Again,
yeah, he was involved with it. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I think they're probably Chinese-made Mike Soldano amps. He didn't want to call it Soldano, which I think was a good move. He did, you know, it didn't take the prestige away from.
But they're not mega expensive for an amp.
No, not at all. And I think you can mod them, or there's a mod that you can do to make it the same as an SLO.
All right, interesting. Note to self: keep my eye out on eBay for those.
Yes, Andy. Yeah, definitely. Bad Cat amps, brilliant. Really, really good quality, high end amps. I'd like one actually.
Nice.
I'm thinking about, because John, I was speaking to John. John was emailing me, and he was showing me his old. He's got it's basically like a Boogie prototype. Someone was trying to improve a Boogie Mark II, or I think it was a Mark II.
Right.
And John was showing me that, and it looks really cool. And that's an amp that John's had, you know, for years and years and years. That's what I'd like. I'd like an amp that is my amp, and that's the amp that I always take to a gig, as opposed to, what should I take? Oh, I'll just take that to a gig this time and not be happy with it. You know, really get to know an amp.
Yeah,
really like to do that. Yeah, I should do that. And Bad Cat is a really good option. Where are we?
John Waller.
Hi, John. How you doing, John? Mike Pinion says he had an Ampeg V4 with SVT cab. Oh, man.
We used to, our bass player used to have the 8x10 cab with the SVT Pro in the rack unit bit at the top. So you had to lift both at the same time, and it was a 4-man lift into gigs. It sounded incredible. But it did sound incredible.
I never really understand this with bass players, because most bass players DI and then they go into a cab to monitor.
No, it sounded all. We'd put it through the PA, but most of the bass sound. You know, we're not playing Stadia. We were playing jumping jacks at wherever. You know, and the bass sound mostly came from the cab, and it sounded so good.
Did it?
So good. Right up until the point where you then had your singer saying, "I can't hear myself."
It is it is a really unique sound that I really like. It's a sound of, you know, you could say that, you know, Marshall is the sound of rock and roll. I think Ampeg is, you know, the old Ampegs.
The sound of electric bass, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Best strap for heavy guitar.
The one you've got with you.
Yeah, but
cynically, I don't think I've got a particularly special strap on any of my guitars.
So there are certain companies that make these ultra wide straps. So the weight gets distributed a bit better. My
dad showed me, in fact, I used to have it. It was an ultra wide leather strap, probably about yay.
Yeah, I've got one like that. Yeah,
right. And because they were gigging like 6 sets a night, all 7 days a week.
Wow.
And it was the 70s. He actually put sheep.
Guitars were heavy.
He put sheepskin under it.
Oh, exotic.
Yeah, and but I mean, obviously they had huge beards, and it was the 70s, and it looked ridiculous. It looked like something out of the Grateful Dead. But these straps looked so comfortable, and I found it still with the sheepskin. I don't know where that strap is now. It's probably at my mum's house or somewhere. But I remember putting it on the guitar and going, "Oh my god, how comfortable is this?"
Yeah, I wouldn't want to smell it after a few gigs though. You want a sheep, like, be sweating like a pig.
Sheep.
She's sweating like a sheep, yeah. Pigs actually don't sweat, do they? As my son keeps pointing out. Okay. Where are we? Yes, so best strap for, just get like a really wide one. If you're worried about, especially if you've got a bad back, get a really wide strap. There are straps. I'm really sorry, I can't remember who does them, and I always think you look like a bit of a tool with it. But there's a strap, like a double strap, that goes over, a bit like, you know, like the old saxophone strap.
Yeah.
A bit like that, but so it goes over like a proper guitar strap, and then it also goes over. Great for ergonomics and you know, supporting yourself. But you know, the thing about guitar is that you want to look cool on stage, don't you?
Yeah, you could always try Albert Collins style, play it on, and have it over the wrong shoulder.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that is quite cool, and it's quite comfortable doing that as well.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder why people don't do that more. Maybe because it just
fly off.
Yeah, it can keep falling off. Where are we? Any wide one? Yeah, any wide one. Yeah. Il Miras is right there, definitely. Yeah, just get a really wide strap, and yeah, you'll be happy. Bruce Brooks says, your opinion: 8-inch FR or 12-inch FR. There's no,
well,
without a doubt, 12.
Yeah, you won't get the power out of an 8-inch.
You won't get the right sound out of it as well.
Yeah, it'll sound wrong.
Yeah, just always think, and I think this is quite a good bit of advice, is always worth spending the extra money. If like, that sounds, yeah. If the 8-inch is £100 cheaper, and you're thinking, oh, I could save some money and get the 8-inch.
Don't
get the 12-inch. Yeah, save up the money and get it. John Waller wants to know, what are our recommendations for UAD plugin for guitar?
Now, do you mean amp model type plugins or plugins to use for guitar processing?
Well, let's talk about amp model plugins until we
okay. I like the Buxom Betty. I really like. I like the Chandler GAV. I like the Marshall Silver Jubilee. I don't like the Fender Tweed.
Yeah, none of us like that.
If you were going to go super uber heavy metal, I like the Engel stuff. The Engels are great.
DS40 for me.
Yeah.
DS40. I've done a video on that if you want to check it out. It's really good. But
steer, I don't think I'm doing anyone disservice by saying steer clear of the Fender Deluxe. It does not sound as good as they would like it to have sounded. I don't know anyone who could make it sound good. Who doesn't work for UA?
Yeah, it's a funny one. It's a funny one. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it's not my favorite.
However, effects for plugins for processing guitar, distressor every time.
Oh, interesting.
I love a distressor on guitars.
Well, I tell you what, you do like the nuts and bolts, the compressors, EQs and stuff, and I'll do like effects.
I'm gonna have to have a quick think. I do hold.
Okay, I'll do effects while you're doing that. Right. Lexicon 224.
Yep, definitely.
And just the bog standard delay that comes with it, so the precision delay.
Yep. I would also put in there the ADA flanger, because I think that's great sound for guitar. I think any of the tape saturation plugins like the Ampex or the Revox, any of those sort of ones are great. The RMX 16 delay is awesome. Capital Chambers for acoustic guitar sounds just mwah.
Yeah, it's lovely. That.
God, they're all brilliant. They're genuinely, they're all the Roland RE201, the Space Echo, is another good one for guitar. And actually, what's the
yeah, but that's it is really good. I just think you can get better delay sounds out of the precision delay.
Yeah, true.
And that's free. And that's free.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Money.
What's the MXR flanger doubler is another great one as well.
I've never used that.
Oh, brilliant flange, kind of proper big, wide, chunky, chewy, chorusy sound. Love it.
I think that's probably why, because I'm not really into that. I'm not really into chorus on guitar. So,
to be honest, any of those short, obviously, the guitar and bass ones are very bass and guitar centric, but experiment that the Moog filters on guitar can sound amazing. You do some incredible, crazy, lunatic stuff and go, that's kind of cool. I like that. And it works really well.
Awesome. Jack Duba, have you guys got any suggestions as far as neck size shape for players with smaller hands? I have a hard time with thumb muting. Oh, interesting.
I don't play that style. I've never, ever.
You've got little hands, haven't you? You sort of, What are
you trying to say?
You've got child's hands.
I do not have child's hands. I've never played that kind of thumb over the top style. Never have.
I can't do it. I'd really like to. I'd really like to sort of do that. I always find that my thumb always wants to go a fret further on than it should.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, isn't it? It's really uncomfortable.
That kind of rhythm style where you're playing what should be bar chords, like an F bar chord, but you're playing an E shape with your thumb over the top. I'm like, how do people do that?
Yeah, and I think there's a recording thing, if anyone does any recording, about sometimes the bass is covering that low note. So you don't really need to play.
You don't have to play all 6 strings all the time when playing rhythm.
Exactly.
So yeah, to be honest, I'm not the greatest rhythm player in the world. I'm not the greatest guitar player in the world. So most of my stuff is very, very worked out and not very on the spur of the moment. So I'm working out parts using probably 3 or 4 strings most of the time for the rhythm parts, and not going jing, because that's not how it works to me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if you really want to play like that, actually, if you really want to play like that and you want like a small neck guitar, Patrick Eggle, some of the earlier, the Berlins and what were the other ones he did?
Hang on. Do you know what? I can never remember. This. Oh God, it's all going to go horribly wrong in a minute. This is an Ace guitar. The neck is tiny. The whole guitar's fairly tiny, but
really tiny necks, really narrow and not thick. Yeah, look, if you look at James's childlike hands, he can get his thumb over the top.
It's out of tune as hell, but hey, it's a beautiful guitar. I mean, yeah, I could do that whole kind of thing.
You could definitely do that with that.
Yeah, but whereas I'm still so used to
that tune.
Very out of tune. Yeah. That's jazz. No, it's a tiny neck. So yeah, you could do a lot worse. And this was my. You can't really tell from there, can you?
No, what's that?
The serial number is 8000.
Oh right, nice.
Quite a distinctive serial number.
Yeah. They've got really small necks. Other guitars have got small necks.
Well, I mean, there are some Strats that have got smaller necks. You know, it's all down to the era and the version of the vintage you go for. Some Strats have chunky necks, some have very flat necks.
Yeah, but they're wider. They're a lot wider than that Patrick Eggle.
Yeah, some super Stratty type stuff is quite small, isn't it? Like the
they're thin, but they're wide.
Yeah.
It's like the Wizard necks, the Ibanez Wizards, and the PRS. I forget what they called the PRS called the thin necks.
I'm going to put this over here. I'm actually going to try and bury it back in its home tonight.
Yeah, good one. Okay, I hope that helps. I can't think of any others. Les Pauls are sometimes, if you get like a 60s Les Paul, that's not a big thick neck. Personally like big thick necks.
And I don't care. Okay. I just play whatever.
Where are we? Okay. But does it sound like guitar cab core into FRFR? I've never tried it actually, Mike. Unfortunately, I've got the Line 6 power cab for when gigging starts again. If I want to take out something like the Quad Cortex or the GT1000, so I'll let you know. The thing is, it's very different in a room. At room volumes, it's very different to a gig situation. So you're not really ever going to tell. But no. I have, what have I used in the? I had the Friedman ASM, the big 1x12 FRFR cab.
Yeah,
it was a wedge. Actually, it looks like a front stage monitor. And yeah, that sounded good, but you wouldn't want that because it's so big and it's so heavy. It was horrible. I had to get rid of it because it was just too much.
Okay.
And expensive.
Yeah.
Hi Renee. Bruce. 2x12 A.
It means AX7.
Okay, X7 preamp solid state power amp. What are you talking about?
Don't know. Can't remember.
Oh yes, no. Bruce probably talking about his Johnston.
Yes.
Did I just say Bruce? He's just talking about his Johnston. It's Johnson.
I had a crazy idea for a series of videos, and I think Paul kind of said we should just have like gear stories from the road as part of the podcast. And I shared one with Paul, and he said you have to tell it.
Oh, it's a good idea. Come on.
So,
there's anyone that's easily offended, probably switch off now. It's pretty bad. I mean,
I think any of us who've ever gigged in bands and done weddings and stuff will probably have done
stuff. I've never done
that. So as any of you will know, or probably know, I'm actually a drummer first call. And for about 15 years, I played with a band called The Talent, who started off as a pub band doing the occasional wedding and ended up doing sort of mostly nice sort of functions and corporate gigs and the occasional wedding, and never played any pubs or did any real fun gigs. And fairly early on in our career as a band, we were going out as a 4-piece, and we were doing a wedding. It was a Saturday night, a wedding in deepest, darkest Essex or somewhere. And for some bizarre reason, we were a bit on it because I think we were staying in the hotel that night as well. And I
love those gigs. I love those gigs where they put you up.
And give you a bar tab as well.
Oh, get wrecked. It's just a mess, isn't it? It's always a mess.
I was usually very good and didn't get smashed before the gig. There was a couple of times where I've got to the point where I could barely play. But anyway, and for some reason, the venue was storing the wedding cake in our dressing cupboard. And
your dressing cupboard, in your dressing room. Okay,
dressing room. It was never very big. It was a dressing cupboard, and they decided to store the wedding cake in there. And our keyboard player, who shall remain nameless,
so wrong, so
wrong, decided to. I believe the vernacular English is turkey slap the wedding cake.
I don't know why I'm laughing. It's so wrong. If that was my wedding cake, I'd be so upset. It's wrong.
And we always used to play like some kind of cheesy tune as they were cutting the cake, and it was we'd kind of hashed a version of Walking on the Moon. The giant slices are what you take when you cut the cake. Oh, it was awful. Very rarely in my gigging history have I ever corpsed to the point where I couldn't speak. But as we were playing this, I just looked at our keyboard player, whose name shall remain out of this story. We just fell about laughing.
Do you want to explain what turkey slapping is?
If I have to explain, no.
Okay, I think people can imagine what part of the what part of the body is being slapped against a cake. It's proper wrong. You are, yeah, it's not. That's not good. he's pretty pleased about that story.
Oh, I mean, I'd love to say that was one of the worst things we ever did, but anyway,
it's a good story. I like that. We can, maybe we should do one of them a week.
We used to.
I've got a feeling that Shahar Bar will love that story.
Yeah. No one ever found out, as far as I know.
Gosh, proper wrong. Okay, Jack Duba it's a technique problem and not a hand size. Seeing kids doing that's just fine. Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I've never embraced. I'm a bar chord man because I come from playing jazz on guitar. So when people say, "Oh, clever chords," I actually know most of them are clever chords around bar shapes.
Yeah,
and I've just do that. It's not a problem. I don't have a guitar slung around my groin. I'm not one of these sort of plays it around my ankles type people. I tend to have it quite high. So putting a bar on's not a major issue.
I guess if you're doing the Hendrix sort of stuff where you're playing like bass and then you're doing some intricate stuff around it, you need to have that thumb because it doesn't sound the same.
Yeah, true.
Interesting. Okay, John Waller, Celestion just released some FR. I'm imagining you mean FRFR speakers specifically made for guitar cabinets and modelers. Looks interesting. I plan on plugging in my Quad Cortex into the power amp of the Katana Artist. Nice. Yeah, let us know how that goes because that could be a.
Yeah.
You're going to need to turn off the speaker. You're going to need to turn off the speaker modeling on the Quad Cortex if you do that. But mind you, I guess the Quad Cortex has some more outputs. I guess you could do that out for different output.
Yeah, it's cool.
If you go into the Katana, that is.
Yeah.
Hanover Green, greetings. Love your S-Gear presets. Cheers, Hanover. Yeah, thanks, mate. Sam Lol. Yeah, there's been a few lols. Got the Victory 2x12 creamback cab, and it was a perfect cab to match the Rev D20, combined with a little reverb pedal and a Carl Martin Plex drive. It's so versatile. Helix next to try it on. Nice. That's a nice little setup.
That is a nice rig. I do fancy trying those barefaced audio cabs, I must admit.
Well, you need to,
I'll make a call.
We'll go down and see him.
Yep, definitely.
I'll be well up for that. Bruce, I used an SVT with two 8x10.
Oh my god! You'd have to have had
December.
roadies. Yeah.
Jeez. That's bonkers.
Yeah.
Before PAs, I guess. Gee.
Yeah. Yeah, they had 150 watt Carlsbro PA, but he had 2,500 watts of bass.
Carlsbro, remember them?
Probably the worst PAs in the world.
Yeah, they were all. I think I had a Carlsbro guitar amp at one point. Oh, when I first started, rotten it was. Chris says I'm picking up a PRSE Custom 24 in a few days' time. Nice one, mate. Nice. It'd be great to get your thoughts on pickups for them. I saw your video for the bare knuckle mules. Would these still be your recommendations? Okay. Oh, I've got something to say about this.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum,
if
bum.
you're buying guitar and you instantly want to change the pickups, why are you buying that guitar?
That's a good point.
So I've only done it once, and sorry, have I only done it once? Yeah, I haven't got it. All my guitars there have got original pickups.
Mm-hmm. You think?
No, all of them have.
Right.
Apart from the Esquire, which I had to put I put a neck pickup in because it didn't have a neck pickup in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if you're instantly thinking I'm going to be changing these pickups, there's got to be a better version of that guitar that you can buy. That
The truth is, in this case,
yeah,
there probably isn't, because the PRS, the SE to the full PRS is probably a 2,000.
It's a big difference.
Whereas you could spend 400 quid on getting some new pickups and improve that guitar immeasurably.
Yeah, but you could get a second hand. You could get like you could definitely pick up like a second hand PRS custom 22. Depends if you really want a 24, because they do come out a bit more expensive. But the 22s, I've seen them go for like 1,200 quid, and that's an American built, American pickups, American hardware, everything. You know, that's like a proper PRS American factory guitar.
Yeah. I get, Chris, I get where you're coming from, but I also understand, Paul, where you're coming from. But I mean, instantly the best way to improve the sound of a guitar after changing the strings is to change the pickups.
Right. Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you've got your heart set on a guitar and you don't like the pickups, that's the only thing, because I think I wouldn't buy a guitar if I didn't like the sound of the guitar. I wouldn't be buying that guitar. I wouldn't think, oh, well, I'll buy that and then I'll change the pickups on it. Because it does make a difference. It definitely makes a difference. But that's not, you know, they're not cheap pickups in there. They're not bad pickups in that. It isn't as though you're picking up a 1990 Squire and literally they're just absolutely shocking pickups. You know, they're decent pickups. So, okay. If I was going to do it, I would probably go for pickups. I'd go for Seymour Duncan's.
The Seymour Duncans in that Eggle are amazing. They're really good.
Yeah, Seymour Duncan do some really good pickups, and they're not as expensive as Bare Knuckles. Bare Knuckles. Oh God, I'm going off on one now, but Bare Knuckles are quite expensive. They do they do a cheaper range. They do their like I can't remember what they call them.
But define expensive. 200 quid a pickup?
No, they're not that much. I mean, you can spend that on pickups, definitely. No, they're probably. I can't remember what a set of Bare Knuckles cost. 200 a pair would cost you 200 and something.
But so that's actually quite a cheap way to improve a totally playable guitar to give it a more change its tone. Let's not necessarily say improve, but to change its tone. Dangerous, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Seymour Duncan do great pickups, and they're probably 60, 70 quid, or they used to be. And they're really good sounding pickups. And there's loads of great Seymour Duncans, stuff like the JBs, really good. And they do like some other PAF style ones. PRS, so PRS, they're really interesting with their windings. The way that they wind their pickups, I don't want to bore anyone here, but when you switch it into a single coil mode, it still uses coils from the other pickups. Now, you're only going to get that with PRS guitars.
Yeah.
Or with Sir guitars. So Sir do that with the Thornbuckers. So if I was going to be buying expensive pickups for my guitar, I'd go and get a pair of Sir Thornbuckers.
Right, there you go.
Because when you switch it into single coil mode, you'll still get a decent output out of it.
Nice. We got there in the end.
I went off on one. Hand wired versus PCB. What are your thoughts?
Normally, hand wired is basically a byproduct, a byword for damn expensive.
Yeah.
I've heard hand wired. I mean, that the Chandler, I think, is hand wired.
Is it?
Beautiful. But the some of the other stuff I've played and have isn't. The Marshalls aren't hand wired unless you get the. They do one series that are hand wired, but they're stupidly expensive. To be honest, I don't think it makes an awful lot of difference.
I don't think. I think
Honestly,
the only time it makes a difference is when you take it in to be repaired, and the guy that's repairing your amp is cursing you because you've got a PCB amp as opposed to a hand wired amp, which is much easier to work on. Hand wired is great. I mean, my divided by 13 is hand wired, but I still prefer. I don't think you wouldn't go like, oh, that sounds like a hand wired amp. It doesn't. It's just, you know, those Marshalls. I think those little studio Marshalls were some of the best amps I've ever heard. Yeah,
and we might get them sometime before Christmas.
You never know.
What is it with me and buying gear? It takes forever.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Have you guys had a play around with the UA FX pedals?
Not yet.
We were told we were going to be sent them, and it was all a lie. Yeah.
Dong.
John says, just a plug, anyone wanting to sell a Peterson rack tune, you can't beat a strobe tuner. It's true, you can't beat a strobe tuner.
It's true. I'd love a strobe tuner, but
expensive, aren't they? Peterson.
Very. We also have a friend who works for the UK distribution for Peterson.
Oh, really?
Yes. Brucey Baby distributes Peterson.
Oh, what, from ADG?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. John also says an aggressive V profile neck is great for thumb overplaying. That's a really good idea, because I guess that the shape of the neck,
it forces your thumb. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. I've never really been into it. Was it the Clapton guitar a V-neck?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The Fender Claptons.
I think so. Yeah. Nice.
Headrush FRFR speakers. Do you know anything about them? We played through them.
We've played through them. Now, I cannot say this for certain, so don't hold me to it, but I think they Headrush have put a Headrush badge on the Alto range of powered monitors, powered speakers, because it looks incredibly similar to the Alto stuff, and it's also competitively priced as such. I was amazed that they're rating those 1,000-watt boxes for about 300 quid. Not even that, I don't think. I think you can get from GAC for about for 199 at the moment, something like that. Gosh,
really? Amazing.
They are a solid plastic box. They're not ABS, so they're not going to bounce well. But yeah, they sounded good at NAMM, didn't they?
Yeah, they did sound good. Yeah, they sounded really good.
It cut through trade show volume, so you know there's something to be said for them.
Mike Pinion says, "Yeah, John, I have 2 handmade by myself, both V-necks. Wow,
nice.
I'd like to see that. I reckon there's some people with some amazing gear.
Yeah,
in the chat. I know that John's got some amazing gear, and yeah, I reckon there's. Yeah, I'd love to see some other people's guitars and stuff. SDR says, also curious if you guys got to use the Myberg M1 on other sources than just acoustic. Yeah, James has all the time.
Yes, because I bought it.
It's a lovely mic.
It sounds amazing on female vocal. It sounds amazing on male vocal. I am going to be doing some videos actually for Myberg on other instruments and other stuff when I can have people here to do it, or in the new studio, because you know we've been locked down tighter than a gnat's thing. So yeah, it sounds pretty damn amazing, that microphone. It's a lot of pennies, but so good.
Yeah, really nice. David Stockton says the Music Man Luke is a very small and narrow neck. That's true. Music Man necks are like that, aren't they?
Yep, and that is one of those guitars that I would really like. I would love it.
Oh, you could probably pick up a second-hand Luke for 1,500 quid.
Yeah, it's tempting. But I've already got a kind of solid Super Strat-y style guitar. Well, whereas getting something big and hollow and is a different style, isn't it?
Yeah, I hear you. PRS is a pattern thin. That's it. That's the PRS neck. Yeah, thin, but it's wide.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as the pattern regulars, but yeah, it's just a preference.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any experience with the Sire Larry Carlton range compared to Fender Sterling by Music Man? Compared to Fender Sterling by Music Man and so on. I know that they're really good and they're really reasonable.
Is that the same Sire as in
Sire basses, as in the Marcus Miller ones?
Marcus Miller's, yeah.
Yeah, it's his company.
Those Marcus Miller basses play so well.
Yeah.
They are so good for the money.
Yeah. Check out, I think his name's John Cordy. He's a really good YouTube player, really good. Sort of jazzy, fusiony. I mean, he's a really talented guy. He does quite a lot of stuff with those Sires. I don't know if he's got a deal with them, but yeah, sounded great. Yes, David, we got that with the Music Man, Luke.
I always think that makes me laugh when someone says that sounds great. You could give a 1990s Squire to David Gilmour, and it would still sound like David Gilmour.
Yeah,
we kind of need to get over ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
People say, it makes me. It's the sound of no. The person. These things are the thing that makes the guitar sound like that person. Yes, you could buy a duplicate rig of Dave Gilmour or whoever, but you ain't going to sound like him. You might get closer, but you're not going to have his feel, his touch. When someone says, I've seen amazing guitar players pick up terrible guitars and say, I love this guitar because the pickups sound really open. It's like a $75 guitar, but yet it had a thing, and that player made that guitar sound amazing. So we kind of, we all like nice guitars, and I do like nice guitars, and Paul really does. But just because you've got a nice guitar does not make you David Gilmour, Eric Clapton, fill in the blank of the signature on the headstock.
What comment are you referring to on this? I'm trying to see.
I'm not particularly, but
okay.
I mean, as you said, like particularly the 90s Squires did sound terrible. Not if you gave it to Eric Clapton, it didn't.
No. I get that. It's just the build quality. No, it wasn't that. But they were particularly, there are certain guitars that the pickups are terrible.
Absolutely. Yeah. But define terrible. One person's, I think it was Dave Stewart, said of keyboards. He said, I never, ever throw a keyboard away. I've got everything from the tiniest little Casio all the way up to synclaviers and Fairlights, because at some point that keyboard is going to have just the sound I want for that song.
Yeah.
Define sounds bad. What might not work for this song might work perfectly for the next song. So I'm as guilty as anyone. I want my expensive stuff and get rid of the cheap stuff because you think it's never going to have a place. But actually, the cheap stuff does have a place. It might. The reason to buy expensive, in my opinion, is stability, reliability, and build. Don't try and gig with a pedal board of £25 Chinese knockoff pedals and expect them to last 10 years worth of gigging, because they're not built to the same quality as £200-300 pedals that are built to last. They're built to be trodden on. Don't expect a cheap £75 dime store guitar to last for a year's worth of gigging. It isn't. Whereas a nice guitar built by someone who knows what a guitar looks like is going to last. It's going to be stable. It's going to stay in tune. All those sort of things. We get hung up on the moment, and I think steps off soapbox just for a minute.
We've both done that tonight.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop.
I get you. I get you. I'm a complete snob when it comes to guitar.
Me too. Totally.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. There's no reason to be. There's some great guitars out there that are cheap. Especially so we talk about those Sires.
Yeah,
that's Bruce says we don't know him well enough to talk about his Johnston.
I think we're now into the comments about my story, aren't we?
Yes. Shep Shepherd, Small Necks Heritage H535 Shallow D profile, thin 2, nice. Heritage, great stuff.
I don't know them.
Yes, so it's basically the old Gibson employees from
Yes, right. Yes.
Kalamazoo.
I do remember you saying. Yes, I do remember you saying that.
Factory. They bought all the machines and everything, and they basically make heritage guitars. Nice. Just great. Bruce says, if we zoom him, he's going to show us his Johnston
amp.
Chris McLaughlin says, I should add, I'm also a lefty, so there isn't always a massive choice. Oh no, there's not, is there? Definitely Patrick Eggles made lefties.
At this point, I have to say, I am actually a lefty. I play right-handed, but I am a lefty. So there.
Yeah.
Do you reckon Lefty Mike's a lefty as well?
Probably. I always did that with students that came in that were left-handed when I was teaching, and I used to try and get them to play right-handed because I said you can have much more choice, and it's hard to play anyway. You know, like playing guitar is awkward. Yeah. It feels wrong, so it doesn't matter which way you learn. Just get started.
Yeah. Do that. Yeah.
Okay, Bruce says we were using 4 Altec voice of the theatre cabinets for the PA back then. Jeez. And then triumphed with subwoofers and a rack full of crown. Bruce you must have been in quite a serious band.
That's some serious toys, isn't it?
Yeah. Safey. Hi, Safey. I'm getting the Safey's getting the Linley Frank Fralin Blues special pickups for his 32-year-old Strat. I'm correcting this guitar by changing the Duncan hot rails. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that's a good move. But that guitar's already been modded, and he's now going back to how it should be. Yeah, I've heard good things about those pickups, Safey. Never tried it, but they're not cheap.
Definitely not.
Bruce Brooks, PCB boards actually have less noise than hand wired if the boards are designed properly. Less chance for hum. Interesting.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. Headrush. Correct. You're right, James, about the alto stuff. Just rebranded. Interesting. Simon Cook.
I do know my onions sometimes.
You do sometimes. Lefty Mike, can an EQ pedal in your signal chain accomplish the same thing as a pickup swap for your guitar? No,
but you can get close. One of the best pedals for that, if you can find them, Voodoo Labs do a pedal called the Giggity, and James Santiago, who is now at UA, was at Voodoo Labs when they were designing this particular pedal, and he basically said it can make a Strat sound like a Les Paul or vice versa using this pedal. Very cool pedal.
Excuse me, DSP?
Oh. No, it's Clever Electronics and stuff.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, really cool pedal. So check out the Voodoo Labs Giggity.
Giggity, nice. I mean, I guess there's certain EQ characteristics of pickup. So,
I think it was down to things like the impedance loading and stuff on the amp. Wow. Real down nitty gritty stuff. Oh, very clever. Yeah,
interesting. Check out the YouTube video of Joe Satriani playing $100 guitar in a guy's flat and sounding like Joe Satriani. Yeah, true. Yeah, still live, cool. Safety says, Paul, how long does it take you to review your presets when you're recording guitars for a release? How many presets per composition? To be honest, I don't really do presets for it. I just so if I'm doing any recording, I'll be tweaking, and then play. But I don't really save presets like that. I don't really save presets because I think every song just requires a bit of tweaking.
On the 11 rack, I do. I'll save the preset purely because I may choose to go back and do a tutorial with that. Not necessarily 11 rack, but I might be doing a recording guitar tutorial, and I think, right, I want that sound, so I'll always store it up in an upper bank somewhere. Obviously, it's more difficult with pedals and stuff, but
I remember so I used to take pictures of my amp settings and stuff just to go if I had to go back. I haven't done that for a while. And yeah, that has caught me out a couple of times. Actually, I should actually save or try and find a way of actually taking more notes. Okay, but in answer to your question, probably, to be honest, what I tend to do is I tend to like get the setting that I want, lay down a take, and then go back and then start recording some more things and go, actually, I need to change that. And then I'll go back and I'll tweak that again.
When you're double tracking,
yes.
What's your process? Because what I'll tend to do is find a sound I like, then change guitars. So I'll have 2 different guitars left and right. Or I might go, I like the guitar, but I might change the patch and have 2 slight variation patches left and right.
Yeah, I think that makes more of a difference. I think I think amps make more difference than guitars, don't they? And speakers make even more difference.
Yeah.
So you could do that. I mean, that's another way of doing it. You get the sound you want, and then you go, okay, I'm going to do a cream back on this one, and then you plug into a different cabinet for the other one. You've got a few different cabinets.
Or amp model cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grinal says, I have a pedal board with the Nux pedals, and I can't differentiate them from more expensive pedals. They sound amazing and feel sturdy as hell. The cheapest one is $50 to $60. Sorry, euros. Awesome.
Check out Nux pedals.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea. Check them out. Renee says, my Squire's neck pickup is the only reason I've kept it. I could have imploded the other pickups. Don't use them. It's funny that you get like one pickup on a guitar that just really sings.
And so I've played Squires where I've gone, this is amazing. This is a truly amazing guitar. And you think, hang on, this is like £400 or whatever for a Squire.
Steve Leggett says, hey man, I watched your video with your PRS Custom 22. You changed the pickups onto bare knuckle mules. I'm doing the exact same guitar. What are the spacing measured it to 50 millimeters? Is that right? I think they do different spacing, Steve. I should probably go back and talk about that, because I don't know if it was Steve that asked about the pickups on the SE.
I don't think it was.
Okay. The reason why I changed the pickups on that guitar was because I bought that guitar secondhand. The guitar felt great, and yes, the pickups were a bit dull, so that's why I changed it. So basically, I've just busted the myth that
the pickups wear out.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you definitely get people that rewind pickups. I don't know why you would do that. Do magnets wear out?
I don't know. I don't know if there's some kind of if the wire, the EMF passing through it is unbelievable. I know. EMF.
Very good, yeah. Very good.
The EMF passing through the wire degrades it over time.
Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question.
No idea.
You get like an old 60s Les Paul or 50s Les Paul.
That sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You wouldn't whip out the pickups on that and go, oh, I'll put some Seymour Duncans in there, would you?
No, definitely not.
You would if you were a moron, but
well, many people did.
Yeah.
Steve, so you can get different spacing. Just find the one that's right for yours. I didn't space it. I took it. To be honest, I took that guitar down to James and I's favorite guitar shop, Guitar, and they did it for me. So I just trusted them. Honestly, I wouldn't trust myself. I wouldn't want to rewire pickups. I'd love to be able to do it, but if I did it, I'd just mess it up. And I've done it once and I've messed it up. I get someone that knows what they're doing.
Bless him.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
That's okay. That's where I'm going. You'd be cheaper than them.
I changed my Strat originally had all gold sensors, gold lace sensors, and a mate of mine had a red hot and a blue deluxe.
Yeah.
So I put the blue in the neck and the red hot in the tail.
So you made it from a Strat Plus to a Strat Plus Deluxe.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the Strat Plus Deluxe had exactly that.
And yeah, a friend of mine who used to work for Shaw, who used to import sensor pickups, gave me those.
I really like those. I really like those lace sensors.
They didn't last very long on on Strats for some reason.
What do you mean last very long?
As in that they weren't around. The late era wasn't very long. It was I always refer to it as the Clapton 24 Nights era.
Yeah.
I love that guitar tone, and that guitar is as close to that as I can get. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, they're still making pickups.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So, yep. I got the S-Gear presets at the weekend. Love them. Many thanks. Anytime, Simon. Great. I'm glad you get something out of it. Any favorite 10-inch speakers for guitar? James, you might have to answer that one. I don't really like 10 inches.
Well, the yeah, you wish. The Celestion do most of the same range in 10s as they do in 12s.
Oh, do they?
So you can get a creamback 10s, and I would say that's probably going to be my favorite at the moment. I can't say for certain because I haven't actually played through 10s for such a long time. It seems generically that 12s just seem to be the guitar size, if you like. But yeah, Celestion do both flavors, 10s and 12s, or all flavors in 10s and 12s. So
yeah, have a look at creambacks then, if that's the case. And they do vintage 30s in.
Yes, yeah,
great.
I don't think they are vintage 30. I think they're vintage 25s. I think.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong on that. Don't hold me to it. But I think there's a vintage series, there's a green series, a blue series, a GT series, which should be avoided at all costs.
You don't like them, do you?
I don't know. GT75s. So I took out of the Marshall, out of my JCM 800, 900.
Right. Okay. Where are we? Can they don't have moving parts? Do they corrode? They might, though. I'm guessing we're talking about pickups.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go with, I think they must at some point degrade over time. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, as in if they degrade in a nice way.
Right. Interesting. Why do you think Godin guitars don't get more appreciation? That's a good question. I think they're really well made.
Their marketing budget, it's probably something as simple as that.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I think
very, very cynical view, I know, but
I think a lot of their guitars, I don't think they've got the designs right until fairly recently. So yeah, I mean, I used to have the nylon string solid body with the MIDI pickup. That was really good.
Yeah. So
do you know why I bought that? I bought that for the Craig David audition.
Craig David. You just aged yourself then, mate.
Hey, Craig David's back now.
Did you get it?
No, but there's a definite reason for that I can't quite.
Is that another audition story?
Seems I did all these auditions and didn't get anything.
And here we are.
This is the reason why we started this. Okay, where are we? Yeah, but Godin guitars are really good. They're really well made. Sound great. They did we were looking it up earlier, or I was looking it up earlier. The Godin did a Les Paul style guitar with some strange pickup switching options that was really nice.
A friend of mine, I think it's probably sacrilege. I didn't know enough about guitar. A friend of my guitar teacher,
right,
had I think it was a real Les Paul. I think it was a Les Paul Studio, stripped back and everything. And he put in it 2 joysticks.
What?
2, those square like keyboard joysticks, where you have the...
Oh, yeah.
Right. And he put 2 of them mounted in the body as pickup controls. You could have single coil humbucker, in phase, out of phase on a joystick.
Oh, that's genius.
It is. I hope it wasn't some beautiful, rare Gibson from the 60s or whatever. But a great idea. I mean, to have these two quite large, sort of chunky joystick style things, single coil humbucker, in phase, out of phase on a joystick was quite cool.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I like it. I'd like someone else to do it. Stevie JJ, good evening, rats. I recently watched a Boss Katana video where you set up a chorus effect for electric guitar. Would you set it the same for acoustic? I don't like chorus. I don't really like chorus full stop, but I think I did that video because I was just demonstrating all the effects. For acoustic, would you put chorus on an acoustic?
No, probably not. Unless it was for a particular effect, I wouldn't put chorus on acoustic to thicken it up. I would record another acoustic part to thicken it up.
Yeah, I would too. But I guess if you're going out live and he wants that sort of sound,
yeah, a really obviously a really short delay is a type of chorus, because chorus, flange, and phase are all just delay line effects to a greater or lesser extent. I would probably be tempted to use a slightly bigger delay to get a bigger sound on acoustic live, and if I was in the studio, I'd just double it.
But if you like the sound of it, then yes, why not? If you like the sound of that particular patch, yes, absolutely.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you like it, there's no rules that say yes you can or no you can't do X, Y, or Z.
Definitely. Okay. Magnets wear out. So Mike says magnets wear out but are easily replaced.
Okay, there we go.
Bruce, some pickup magnets can degrade over time. Original Fender full range humbuckers on the 72 Tele thin lines had that problem with the Cuneife magnetic pole pieces. Interesting.
Well, there you go. Cowbell and I agree on one thing, that's for sure.
Yes, GT75s are the worst. How did you create the intro graphic? It's really slick. Do you know, I had some someone hated it actually.
Fiverr.
Huh?
Fiverr, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that, to be honest. I can't remember what it was. It was I saw some advert on Instagram or Facebook or something. Someone saying that they did like video in intro graphics, and the only thing is some other companies are using something that's similar, obviously done by the same company, and they've changed it slightly, but it's the same intro thing, which is a bit annoying. So at some point, I've got to.
That's what happens when you pay £5 for it.
It wasn't £5, but it wasn't far off that. It's like 30 quid or something. Relish has something like that. What are we talking about here?
I don't know who.
Oh, maybe Hanover, because Hanover talking about the Godin guitars, and I was talking about the Gibson style. Maybe that's what it means. Don't use chorus on acoustic; just play 12-string. Yep.
Or my favourite trick to that is have a Nashville tuned. Nashville tuned acoustic's great.
Yeah, that video didn't do well. I did a whole video on Nashville tuning, and people, didn't do that well. The Cowboy Studios, the Adinenko oil can delay. Set with a short delay works great on acoustic guitar. Oh, sorry. The Adinenko oil can delay set with a short delay works great on acoustic guitar. Do you know that one? Do you know the?
I don't, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah. Check out the Freeway 6 switch. I reckon you could get the sound you described out of that, James. It looks like a 3-way toggle, but has 6 positions. That makes sense.
That makes a lot, yeah. Because this thing was, a fair old chunk of routing had been done to get these two bloody great joystick. It looked like something off a Korg keyboard in the 70s.
The Wave Station.
Yeah, but proper joystick thing.
Yeah, the wave. Yeah, we could. Yeah, you could go to the different waves.
Yeah,
awesome.
And it worked really well. I mean, he wasn't a great enough guitar player, and he was one of these guitar players who blamed the tech for everything. That's
exactly what you can do.
But every time I saw him, it was always he was trying to play and then tweaks it. And I'm like, just fucking play.
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yes.
Craziness.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Oh no, there's a couple more actually. We'll just do these. My other option for an acoustic is his tone wood amp. Tonewood. Oh yeah. No, actually, I don't know them. I
thought I did, but no.
No. Excellent. Simon says, I'm using PreSonus Iris monitors and PreSonus interface. When I'm not recording or listening to music, there's a distinct, soft, audible through the monitors a distinct soft click audible through the monitors every minute or so. Any ideas? Sounds like a clocking issue.
Sounds like clocking issue. There will somewhere on your system. There's a digital misalignment. It could be 44.1 to 48. It could be two things trying to clock together, and they're both set to be the master. General rule of clocking: one master, many slaves.
Definitely. Yes. So have a look. Make sure that if you've got something else digital plugged into it, which I would have thought you have, if you haven't, then there's a problem with the unit, I would say.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, the normal thing, and this is, so we don't know which particular models or what else is plugged in. The normal problem that I have with interfaces, I'm not sure which.
That's not interface, mate. That's
something else. Is if you're using an external 8-channel ADAT preamp, mic pre, to go light pipe down into a mic pre.
Yeah.
Light pipe from the interface, from the mic pre down into the interface. The mic pre needs to be the clock master. Otherwise, it's trying to clock itself, and the interface is trying to clock itself, and basically the clicks you're hearing is where it doesn't line up. This is going to mess with everyone's viewing. So try making the mic pre the clock master, and then having the interface clock take its clocking source from the ADAT optical. If you don't have anything external going on,
the interface is something wrong with it.
Yeah, definitely. I would say.
Or you could have a different sample rate set in your DAW which can still happen.
Yeah, that wouldn't necessarily result in clicking and popping. What that would result in is no. You can have, for example, if you have a UA interface with Pro Tools, and in the UA console it's set to 192, but your interface, your session is set to 48K, it will record no problem. You try taking that 48K session.
Yeah.
Really slow. And I actually did that on a session. I had to run everything through an A to D, D to A from one Pro Tools system into another to get everything back. It's like proper woo.
No, it's not buffers. Oh, it could be buffer settings actually. If his buffer's too low and his computer can't cope with it, that's possibly true.
Yeah, not recording or listening to music, you wouldn't get any. If it's buffer settings, you wouldn't get any noises when it's not playing back.
Hold on a sec. Does he say?
Yeah, it says when I'm not recording or listening to music, there is a distinct soft click. You wouldn't get that when not playing back if it was buffer settings.
Well, if the DAW was stopped, if you're in stop,
yeah,
and there was still like that can happen. I've definitely had that.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have said buffer settings is not something I would have said.
I wouldn't look at that first. Definitely not.
No.
But, good suggestion though. Okay, I keep saying last questions and more keep coming. So, is hum normal when miking an amp? Can I mic an amp with an SM58 instead of a 57?
Yes, and yes.
Yes, absolutely, and yes. Yes, don't worry about hum. It's a guitar amp and a guitar, the noisy things.
And a 58 and a 57 share more than a slight similarity. You can use whatever mic you've got. No one cares as long as it sounds good.
Yeah. By the way, tuning problems on a Les Paul, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. My guitar guy recommended a nut change, not go for the locking tuners. Oh, interesting. Nice
that was cheaper. That was cheaper then.
Yeah. Google Tonewood amp if you're not sure what it is, especially mic doors. Nice one. We'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow. Anytime, Simon. Buffer settings, yep. I'll check them. Sorted.
Great work, Mr. Drew.
Done.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. We had a great session as ever. We are ploughing on towards that magic 52, our first year of doing this craziness. If you have any comments, suggestions, video ideas, anything you'd like Paul or I to do video wise, we've got more plans coming as always, and now we're coming sort of easing our way out of lockdown. It does mean we hopefully be able to get together and do some more stuff together, which is good. Yeah, I guess that's it for another week, isn't it?
It is.
It's been fun. We will, Shahar, we will definitely keep those safe. I'm not going to say that out loud. So until this time next week, everyone have a safe one, stay safe and all that. And we will see you again this time next week. Take care, everyone, and stay safe, and see you very soon.
Cheers, guys.